Psalm 66. Psalm 66 includes so many positive and encouraging things. And so the Psalms have moved from this, what appears to be a list of poetic utterances from a man who's struggling and depressed and going through a lot of mood swings, to some very upbeat Psalms. And Psalm 66 is one of these, and I think it's good just to return sometimes to that place where we give thanks, and we give thanks without reserve, without caveats, without a big but in the middle of it. And it says this in Psalm 66: shout with joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Make his praise glorious. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing praise to your name. Just the first few verses, and it goes on and it whacks out lots of really encouraging things, which is great. Let's celebrate that moment for this Monday afternoon that I'm doing this video. Verse 8, praise our God, O peoples, let the sound of his praise be heard. He has preserved our lives and kept our feet from slipping. For you, O God, tested us. You refined us like silver. You brought us into prison and laid burdens on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through fire and water. But, and that's the but it's the other but. It's the but that God has worked. But you brought us to a place of abundance. And so sometimes we have these, like, I'm trying to live this life, but Lord, it's a struggle. But Lord, I feel I messed up. But Lord, I'm so conscious of my humanity. But Lord, I wish you could find a slightly better person to be doing my job. And Psalm 66 tells us, yep, all the humanity is still there. All the challenges are still there. Maybe all the trials are still there. Maybe all the refining is still there. But God brings us to a place of abundance. But God still works. But God in his mercy says, I'm going to use you anyway. I was just chatting to a friend, and she's a very dear friend, and as a couple, I can just say, without sort of giving any more details, but I can just say, certainly there's been some challenges, and certainly there has been some big trials, without a doubt. And we were having this sort of chat, and they suddenly found themselves in this situation where God was saying, I want you to quickly jump into this situation and go and help. And you know, and her testimony is that, you know what, God doesn't wait to fix us. He'll use us. And in recounting, you know, saying that the person they went to help kind of thought, oh, you couldn't have gone through so much. You look quite together. And of course, you know, she knows that's just not true. I mean, I think that's the story of all of us, isn't it? You know, we all are totally conscious of our flaws. We're all totally conscious of our weaknesses, and to be honest, if we're not, we're probably kidding ourselves. The issue is that God will use us. The issue is God will use people who haven't got it all together, and we're still a work in progress. And you know, we're still clay that's being formed in the potter's hand. We're still being molded. We're still being refined, as this psalm talks about being refined like silver, purified. I think one of the other psalms says purified 7 times. There's a process. My friend is a student learning how to do jewellery, and one of her ambitions, actually, she's hoping to go abroad and actually work with a silversmith. And we're very excited about hearing about this, and we were just looking up pictures of some of the silverware, the place where she might go to. It was very, very fascinating. And of course, you know, it's about this refining. And then we Googled and we looked up, and we realised that one of the interesting things about Jewish silverware is they used to actually ban the silversmiths and goldsmiths from joining the guilds, from joining the business clubs, because the Jews were ostracized. They were sort of kept out of mainstream society. So what used to happen is many Jewish people actually, they had this incredible silverware which was very precious to them. They'd use for special ceremonies like Passover and so on. But frequently, the silverware that they had, the Hebrew inscriptions on it were actually incorrect, because Gentiles, non-Jews, had done it, and they had made mistakes. They didn't really know the language properly, they didn't know the characters properly, so often they had what was very, very precious silverware that they held very dear to themselves, and they used for their ceremonies, and those sort of things that they kept within the family for generations. And yet these things were actually flawed. They had misspelt Hebrew words on them. And isn't that just a beautiful illustration of how God takes us, He uses us? We have our flaws, we have our mistakes, but God still values us and treasures us, and He still believes that we're worth holding on to.